Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz. Guys, welcome to episode 156 of the Untapped Podcast. If this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you. We are thrilled to have you here with us. We actually have 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have 14 Fortitude episodes. Now, in these episodes, we cover the mental side of our brand. We go over our anecdotal experiences with things like mindset and mentality. We then pass on tips and advice to you guys to then apply to your own lives. Next, we have physical vitality episodes, which is what we have today. In these ones, we cover the physical side of our brand. We really get to showcase our expertise because you have 2 certified personal trainers here. Now, in these ones, we cover everything to do with Untapped Training, which, guys, if you have any questions, curiosities, anything about what we offer with Untapped Training through our fully custom Untapped app, please reach out. We are very reachable guys, and we are more than willing and able to help you get the results that you want. Now, in these ones, we also cover everything to do with the gym, workouts, nutrition, diet on a general basis there, supplementation, mental toughness programs like 75 Hard, for example, and then sometimes we will take trending articles or topics within the fitness industry and give our thoughts and opinions on those. Now, guys, these physical vitality episodes are full, and I cannot stress that enough, full of free game, so make sure you pay attention.
Beautiful, dude. All right, on to our third format, ladies and gentlemen. That is our breaking news format. That is a current event-based format. This is when we sit down and touch on current events, current articles going on in today's world, whether that's United States or the world, mainly United States is our focus there. Now, keep in mind, we could do 3 to 4 episodes of these a week because there's so many current events going on, it seems like all the time, that we could really make that our whole personality. We are not going to. We are going to bring you solutions in those episodes and things going on in today's world about them. On to our fourth format. Our fourth format is our Knights Table format. That is a masculinity-based format. This is when we sit down and touch on things like toxic masculinity, if it's real, what it is, fatherhood, the impact it's had on our lives in here, and male-based topics in general and how important men are to the future of not only this country, the United States, but also the world and the importance of them in general. Keep in mind, I'm 26, Wurtz is 26, our producer Mitch is 24. Because of that reason, we are not coming to you as some all put together man on top of a pedestal by any means. The only man who ever walked this earth that has been perfect is Jesus Christ. On to our fifth format. That is our guest format, as we sit down and touch on things like entrepreneurs, talk to them, talk to fitness professionals, athletes, doctors, anybody with a great story, basically anybody that's going to bring you value, we sit down and touch on. Our last episode of that was 152 with Mr. John Fogarty, and we had 2 others outside of that as well, including a state senator and including Mr. Estevenson Coleman, stud philanthropist around the area, Haitian immigrant as well. But basically, we're going to learn a lot from these episodes, guys, even if we know the person, which we do most of the time. You guys are going to learn a ton from these episodes as well. Now, our final thing to introduce is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
Hey there. What's
Going on, fellas?
I think we're good.
We're back.
We dial in a little bit here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Few things off the rip here to cover.
Yep.
Number 1, happy Easter. Late, but happy Easter.
True. Yep.
Hopefully you guys were able to spend your Easter Sunday with your family, friends, whoever, and have a wonderful Easter Sunday, the whole weekend for that matter. I believe they call us Holy Week because of all the days leading up to Easter.
He is risen, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He is risen. Second, if you guys have an S2 location near you with a smoothie bar, go and get an Untapped smoothie. If you have, especially if you have not tried it yet, which if you have tried it, you know how freaking incredible it is.
Producer confirmed.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Also fiance confirmed.
That's right.
For myself, Holly loves it too.
Yes. Yes.
It's all right.
Okay. Yeah.
And scratch that.
Yeah. We'll edit that out for sure. But those of you that have tried it, you know, if you have one, you immediately get jacked. So, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Guaranteed.
So, if you have an S2 location, whether you are here in St. Louis, you're in Springfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, I think there's one in Illinois. I think.
Yeah.
A smoothie location. There's obviously S2s. But if you're anywhere near those places, go immediately, right now. I don't care what time of day it is, and go get the Untapped smoothie.
Don't care if you're at work.
Yeah, well, obviously we don't care if you're at work. And if they're not open yet, get a tent and camp out. Like, it's pretty simple. So there's no
Cool.
excuses to
Cool.
not get an Untapped smoothie
Mhm.
ASAP. Third thing to cover from last weekend, I guess it would have been.
Mhm.
Thank you to everyone who came out to our community ruck. Kind of partnered up with the S2 Chesterfield store, which was just a great morning.
Mhm.
We got a little bit over 3 miles in, and so yes, thank you to everyone who came out. Now, if you guys missed on this one, you couldn't make it, or maybe you forgot, or whatever, don't worry. We will have plenty of community rucks and community workouts, not only throughout the summer here, but just kind of from here on out. Like we love sports for
Yep.
sure. Football games or frisbee, whatever. We'll come up with something. Maybe the Untapped Open becomes a real thing on the golf course. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
We're doing it at Old Hickory, just like Will is
Oh,
for his foundation.
hey now.
I haven't played there yet. I've heard it's a beautiful
haven't
course,
either.
though. But anyways,
I'm more accustomed to the Augustas of
right,
the world.
of course.
Yeah.
Well, and as you know, like I'm the fairway king because I hit fairways like crazy.
Yes.
So
yes. Hey, the last time we played, just that last weekend, you hit more fairways than me. We can look at the final scorecard though.
Yeah,
if you'd like.
Right. It's mainly because my distances are not the best. I hit the fairways, but my distances might not be very good.
That's right. But all in all, thank you to those who came out. And again, we will have plenty more opportunities for you guys to come out and be a part of these community events. We love putting them on. We love getting together with whoever wants to come out. Great camaraderie is built. It's fun. You're active. You're outside. Doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah,
So
love it.
big thanks.
A lot more coming, and then also with these physical vitality episodes, can't wait to keep building on these.
Yeah.
We've decided to make it a big priority coming up with
For
these
sure.
physical vitality episodes, guys, just because of the fact that one, it is our main personality here on the podcast, so to speak. Our main focus is that health and fitness and how it's the ground up from everything else.
Our last YouTube exclusive, actually.
Correct.
Last week's.
Yep.
There was obviously no podcast episode.
Number 12.
12.
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, physical vitalities are going to be a big priority because honestly, the more you and I have conversations in the general population, and a lot of people have a lot of questions when it comes to programming, training, nutrition. I mean, and they're in the dark a lot.
Yeah.
And understandably so, because the main schooling system doesn't talk at all on fitness or nutrition or anything like that. So we want to make that priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have several different options. If you want to get expensive with it, by all means, we can do that. If you want to stay on the cheaper side of things, we can absolutely do that as well. So reach out to us.
Different things for each. If you could do
of course.
Obviously, the more premium route is the one you're going to get the most hands-on work with.
For sure.
Whether that's training in person with myself at Iron Hive or whether that's on one-on-one online. And then we also have the personalized program. And the cheapest version is the monthly, which you follow along with workouts we've tested and tried with multiple people and also ourselves.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Well, like I mentioned, we do have a physical vitality here for episode 156. Being sedentary, not a good thing.
I wouldn't say so.
Because it's progressing your chronic diseases.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. Yeah. Most of the time I think if you guys, this is really random, but not really random, actually it's right on the topic, but if you talk to any nurses, for example, the nurses are obviously like what you would consider like a frontline health worker, for example. They see basically the end product of what a sedentary or a very unhealthy lifestyle leads to.
Sure. A
lot of these nurses do. So if you talk, any of you guys know any nurses, literally ask them who's in the hospital. What do they see the most? And these chronic diseases are what we're talking about. They're diseases that your lifestyle choices from literally 15 years old, probably earlier than that, even when you're born, before. Essentially, basically, your parents' decisions up to that point with your health, all the way up until you're 60, 65, 70, and all of a sudden 60, 65, 70, or maybe even earlier than that, hopefully not earlier than that, but possible, they start catching up to you. These choices in your life start catching up to you, and lifestyle becomes very obvious, which is why we talk about catching it early, which is what we talked about in the YouTube exclusive last week, for that matter. So you see these, and you see what our hospitals are majority filled with. A lot of it is obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, maybe dementia, but that's more for facilities that are related to dementia and Alzheimer's a lot of the times there.
Did you mention obesity?
Yeah.
I think you did.
Yep. And obesity is by itself a chronic disease, but it also leads to usually like
other ones,
5 to 10 other ones, if depending on how severe your obesity is at that point.
Cancer. would be in this
cancer
category.
is also, and cancer is one of those things that exercise is actually shown to combat, and good nutrition is shown to combat as well.
What a revelation.
Which is pretty wild
Yeah.
and pretty awesome. But again, you would think of chronic disease, cancer is a chronic disease.
Right.
You know, if you make the choice to smoke your whole life, lung cancer is oftentimes on the table
Right.
for you because it's chronically been your whole life. You've been doing that, for
Right.
example. So yeah, that's kind of a little rundown there, but of the whole list related to it. But if you look at the top 10 list, for example, of chronic diseases, I believe smoking is the only one that is not movement or nutrition related. If I, and obviously you guys can fact check me, but that's what I've seen when I pulled it up before the podcast as well. And in general, when I've been going through education and we've been working together and whatnot too.
I'm really trying to think of something else that would fit like that. And there really isn't.
You really could only say car accidents. Car accidents, like for young people, car accidents kill more people than most anything, which makes sense.
Right.
At that point in time. And not to mention intercity crimes, another one that caused a lot of issues there too. But we're not talking about that stuff. You know what I mean? Like
right.
We're talking about like causes of death that are the most common in the United States. I mean, heart disease itself kills like 400 to 500,000 people a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a crazy number. And again, heart disease, unless you have some crazy outside the box circumstances, it's almost always lifestyle related. It just is.
And sometimes some hereditary things can come into play there.
Correct. And things like, for example, like an aneurysm or aortic issues or whatnot, family history and whatnot can be more likely. But even with family history with that stuff, exercise and nutrition are a very fast-tracked way to help you basically have better longevity and hopefully avoid that family history as well, which is also possible. That's why something like type 1 diabetes, for example, is it's technically a disease you can't, like, you don't just get fat and get type 1 diabetes, for example. That would be like type 2.
Right.
You have too high of a blood sugar, for example, and you go on you get type 2 diabetes. With type 1 diabetes, that's something you have to have an insulin pump, and you were just born with that, for example, or it showed up when you were like a certain age and whatnot, just because like you were prone to it at birth, for example.
Sure.
We know a couple guys who actually have type 1 diabetes and are extremely active. This guy I'm thinking of in particular, he's a runner, and that's primarily what he does. He does like 1 or 2 days of strength a week as well, and he's majorly managed any symptoms that have come along with type 1 diabetes. And that's also shown as well. So even something that is hereditary, like type 1 diabetes, you can limit the symptoms majorly with exercise and nutrition.
Yeah.
And again,
dementia would be another one that fits into this category as far as, hereditary and then proper nutrition, exercise.
Primarily creatine with that.
I was going to say even creatine. Yep. As much as we talk about it, guys, like, you're not taking creatine like you need to be.
There's a reason it's in the Untapped smoothie.
Right. 100%. And the amount of stuff that you and I keep seeing more and more about, like 20 plus grams for males, it's like, damn, maybe there is truth to that.
Mr. McElroy.
Right. It's
Masters champion.
You take 20 grams, you win the Masters. It's just in the handbook.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. It actually says it on the first form can. Yeah, if you take 20 grams.
5 years straight of 20 grams creatine, then you will win the Masters.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll start today then.
It's like, is there multiple Masters winners a year? Or are we just going once a year? Like, how's this work?
Right. But, I mean, we've talked many times. There are no miracle supplements. There's no miracle products or drugs or anything like that. But creatine's pretty damn close. It's going
to be the closest.
It really is.
It's also going to be cheap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are we talking about? First form, it's $30 for 100 servings?
Yeah. I mean, you kidding me?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And honestly, it used to be cheaper. So, thanks, Biden.
Blame Biden for all of our life problems. be those conservatives.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh, those little guys are the worst.
Goodness.
But yeah, no, it definitely used to be cheaper. And because production was easier and obviously relations with China right now are not the best, for good reason, because they've been screwing people over for a while. But that all world markets affect not only food in your grocery store, but also supplements. That's just a natural truth of the thing.
Exactly.
World markets and politics also affect that type of stuff too. But I really, you could go on the chronic disease list, but the easiest place to start, if we're talking about if you've never exercised consistently, or you've maybe done a little bit and walking's the only thing you've been doing, whatnot, the easiest place to start, and again, people are going to think we're biased with saying this, but the easiest place to start is finding a trainer of some sort. And if you can't afford a trainer, you need to be following social media content that is training directed
and trustworthy.
And
too,
trustworthy,
by the way. We'll
for
throw
sure.
That out there.
And that's, again, if you're listening to this podcast, you already have 2 trustworthy sources right here.
Right.
You have the podcast, you have daily fitness content that I post as well. You have content you post as well, stories you put up as well that are also very educational, different stuff like that. So you already have 2 sources right here if you don't know.
Yeah.
There's already a bunch of those that are in St. Louis that we know, like Jeff Lavecchio is another good one. And a friend of ours as well, for that matter. Will Bates puts out also stuff like that all the time. So we can shout them. First Form puts out very cheap, either cheap information on their app or just free information on their stuff. They have articles and whatnot. They touch on nutrition and whatnot on their website as well that are free. So those are some of the stuff that we also believe in as well. There's some other ones, but our list would be too long and we could touch on way too much if we did that. So find some reputable source and start there is the number one thing. If you're already into fitness in some manner, but you feel like you're not getting really any results, 100% trainer is another way to look there too.
Yeah.
But you need to reevaluate your training and where it's at if you're already into that point. If you feel like every bit of your training is mundane and you're like you haven't progressed on any of the weights you've been lifting, your running stays stagnant, you've been sitting at a 10-minute pace, for example, on your runs, and you can't get past that on, let's say, your 2-mile pace, your 1-mile pace, or whatever it is, you need to reevaluate things and be like, okay, like, do I have other lifestyle factors going on? Is my job stressing me out to the max?
Right.
Because I know there are some of you as well that are listening that are in a job that, because it's so stressful, you believe you have 0 time to exercise, or it's ruining your exercise when you do go and exercise. But just because the paycheck is good, you think that you need to continue on that. It's like, bro, if the paycheck's that good, you can take a little bit of a pay hit, and next thing you know, you're going to feel better because of the fact that you went from $170,000 a year to $130,000 a year. You budget a little bit differently, go from there. Literally, that's what actually Chad was telling me, my boss, Chad at Health Source, he was telling me all about how like they've had to switch their budgeting and whatnot depending on, like they don't want to run themselves into the ground as a family either. He has 4 kids in this scenario. This is a close to home example here. So your job is 100% a thing you need to evaluate as well.
Yeah. Well, and what you're also saying too is that you need to make your health your number one priority.
Exactly.
That's the overall point of what everything you just said is that. You have to take care of your health. Yeah, all these other things might be good in your life. You might have a good job that pays you well and things like that, and that's wonderful. That's really good. You're able to provide for your wife, for your family, whatever. But if you die at 50, what good did you really do? Congrats, you left them a good life insurance policy? Like, is that really what you want to do?
They lost their dad at 50 years old.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's like, that kind of sucks. I feel like you'd probably rather be around for all the different things with your kids and your wife and whatever else, you have going on. So again, your overall point is making your health your number one priority. If you're at a job that's paying you well, you can definitely afford a gym membership and or some kind of coach or trainer. Like, it's a bottom line.
Yeah.
And the amount of online training, again, we have a fully custom Untapped app. It's very accessible. You can go to whatever gym you want to. You don't have to meet us. If you want to do it in person, that's great. Gabel offers that option. Okay, so get with him. But if you don't want to be beholden to a certain gym or making an appointment or things like that, because everyone's got busy schedules, use the Untapped app. You can go to any gym. You can do it any time of the day you want. You can do it at home if you want. We can make that.
Do it on a field.
You can do it on a field. Like, it doesn't matter. One of our clients right now, like, he doesn't even have to go to the gym. Now, granted, he has built out a home gym with his wife, and it's convenient for them. They made their health a priority, chose to budget a little bit differently, build out a home gym so that they basically have zero excuse to not get it done. He was just texting us the other day. He was dealing with some stomach issues, funny enough. And it's funny because we all deal with it, and stomach issues just suck. I mean, I hate stomach issues, but not the point here. And we were saying, it's like, hey, if you need to take it easy, like, you need to take the day off, like, it's all good. And he was like, well, I'm at home, so if I got to get to the bathroom quick, at least I'm at home. I'm not at a gym. Funny, but the point still remains. They've made it a priority. They budgeted for something like this, built out a home gym with anything that they could possibly need and the ability to add when they get to that point. and he can do it any time of day. He uses our app. We don't have to be there. Like, it works super well.
Well, and again, another example of that would be your dad, actually, when we were in our trial runs with the app, too.
Yeah, right.
When our trial runs with the app, your dad was entirely at home with some bands, a couple dumbbells, and that's, what else? What else am I missing?
Because at that time, I didn't have the GoRuck stuff yet.
Yeah, it's about it.
Yeah.
So if you really think about that, we could even build something out with that, too.
100%.
And that's what your point is right now, is that with the current technology where it's at, you have so many options of stuff you can work with at this point in time.
I mean, heck, not that we're just going to sit here and promote all these other coaches and stuff, but a great example for females is Lexi Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I think her model and her community, like, I know I've taken things from her, like, as far as learning from her, and I think you have too. And, she offers 28-minute workouts. I think the most equipment you need, I've never done these, just caveat here, but you just need a few dumbbells, if that, because I know she tailors it to, if you have no equipment, 28 minutes at home. That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And it really seems like it's more tailored towards the female market. So that's why I'm saying, like,
and most of our market's tailored toward the men.
Yeah,
sure.
right.
There's
right,
no doubt about that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine.
Yeah, and I also work with in-person female clients.
I was going to say, that's not to say that we can't or haven't trained females because we have. We had a mom and daughter, as a matter of fact. And so the point is, there's plenty of options. It doesn't have to be expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It basically, anything with health and fitness, it can be as expensive as you want it to be. It can be as cheap as you want it to be.
Yep.
You could literally get a $10 a month membership to Planet Fitness. You could also get a $210 membership to Lifetime.
And there's going to be upsides and downsides to either one.
100%.
Because that's the thing, is like with Planet Fitness, you're looking at the option of $10 a month, but it's pretty easy to miss a workout when you're only paying $10 a month.
Exactly.
And you might not get the same results or hold yourself accountable.
Sure.
It's all on you at that point in time for the $10 a month.
Yes.
With a more expensive membership like Lifetime or with a trainer involved in it, it's going to be more expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but you're guaranteed to get results if you work with a good trainer.
Exactly.
If you work with a good trainer, there's obviously that caveat, because there's plenty of trainers we've talked about where they're garbage.
Right.
And that comes with a saturated market too.
For sure.
You know what I mean? In a lot of times too, because, pretty much anybody can promote themselves as trainers and they haven't put any of the work in or even evaluated any of their viewpoints on things. But
Well,
that's not the point.
it's a low barrier to entry.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it takes a few months, you get certified, and then you can go work at a gym.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
and
that's
maybe those trainers have never even attempted to do any extra education or continuing education to expand on their knowledge.
build connections with other coaches.
Exactly. Haven't worked with other coaches in any sort of way.
Right.
And those are usually the ones that are bad.
Right.
But the ones we're talking about that have networked with other coaches and built that and consistently post content, or have consistently trained / coached people for years
Mhm.
on end like we have, like, that's somebody you can trust at that
Right.
point in time. But the point of that is it makes it easier to then avoid these chronic issues when you have access to somebody like that.
Mhm.
Or if you're just having access to somebody, like, you're just looking at their content on social media and you trust them.
Right.
That's an easy way to do it and learn from them at that point in time too. But 100%, you need to evaluate lifestyle factors as well. Like, we're not only just talking the training and nutrition side of things. Those need to be dialed in 100%. And we have shown you the options of how you can do that.
Yeah.
The lifestyle factors need to be handled. You need to make sure that, as a man especially, you marry the right woman. That's a big one, because if you don't marry the right woman, either she's not going to want to come along with that fitness journey with you, or she's going to fight you the whole way,
Mhm.
or it's going to be an extra headache at home, and you're going to be more stressed, which is the last thing anybody needs when you're already trying to work to provide for the family at that point in
Right.
time, for those men of you. And that goes for women too. You need to marry the right man that is also a fit human being and takes care of his health and prioritizes that. And it's not when you're going to the gym, he's like, I'm not going this morning,
Right.
which is just like ultimate loser material. By the way, let's just be completely honest here.
Hey, man, I work out in the afternoon now.
Bro, I work out at lunch. It's like, not like I work out in the morning. I get up at 4 a.m. to work out.
I miss my morning workouts
Gosh,
so
yeah,
much.
No, like
I
a
really
7
do.
or 8 a.m. workout is the
Yeah,
best.
man.
The best,
Yeah.
dude.
Best way to start the day.
100%. Yeah.
Right after
'Cause
you
it-
dunk your face in
'cause-
water.
Right after your Saratoga spring water. What a joke, dude. He had an evening routine come out apparently too. I haven't watched it at all, but
nice.
I heard rumors about this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was swirling around the internet because he's so popular. But anyways, but the lifestyle factors are massive, and I genuinely we touch on the lifestyle factors because they're unusual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're ones that people don't really think about how work or home life or kids or how anything like that affects your health.
Sure.
That needs to be a priority.
Yeah.
And especially truthfully with kids, it makes it easy because you can just get outside and play outside with them.
You're right.
And get movement in that
Right,
way.
right.
You know, funny enough, which is also why you should train too, because that also assists in that too. But anyways, that's kind of where I'm at on the chronic stuff and the lifestyle factors. Yeah. You good on that end of things?
Yeah. I mean,
Awesome.
of course I am. I mean, it's simple. You know, if you need training, get it. If you don't know how to get movement in, ask. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, DM us.
And if
like literally.
and if you do know these things, then you know these things. So what's stopping you?
Mm-hmm.
What's preventing you? You got to get over those mental blocks, or you got to fix your schedule some and make your priorities different and things like that. Maybe you got to budget differently, whatever. You know, you and I, we choose to spend a decent amount of money, nothing crazy, but on certain supplements and certain products, certain foods, gym memberships. We choose to spend money on those things because we make it a priority. You know, we see the benefits in all those things, the lifelong benefits of those things. You know, way back in one of our really early episodes, I said, when you start your fitness journey, you're signing a lifelong contract.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be that. It can't just be, you know, you work out for a year or two and then 10 years go by. You are signing a lifelong contract to not only help prevent these chronic diseases that we just talked about, but to just live a better life.
Also to enhance your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're not saying you gotta be CBum, you know, or we're not saying you got to train 6 or 7 days a week. If you can get 2 or 3 days in a week, that is fantastic. Now make those 2 to 3 days a week really good and productive. That's what you and I are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I get 4 workouts in a week, and I'm talking about going to the gym, I'm not including walks and rucks and things like that, because those are kind of extras for me, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, it helps having a dog that is a very energetic and active dog that we have. So she needs to walk and she can go long distance and she loves it. So that gives me even more reason to put the vest on. And, you know, even if it's a mile and a half, well, it's a mile and a half with a vest on, you know, like it's good. It's productive. So all in all, take your health seriously, make it a priority, budget differently if you need to, get a coach if you need to, get a trainer if you need to, and just take it seriously. The biggest thing. Take it seriously because it matters. It
Beauty.
matters. Yeah. Well, guys, at the end of all of our non-guest episodes, Money Mitch will ask us a Q&A question that's submitted by you guys, the listeners or the viewers. Now, bear with me for a couple minutes here while I go over all the different ways.
Just tell them, DM us, email us. Okay, we're good.
All right, fine. Yeah, we'll do the short version. DM us on any of the social medias. Email us, extricationfitness@gmail.com. If that's too hard to type in, which, honestly, we get it if it is. Email button in our Instagram and Facebook bios. You can text them to us if you have our numbers. I think that's the shortened version. Does that cover it all? I think so. All the questions get sent over to Money Mitch. He then picks one out that pertains to the episode that we are currently doing, a past one we've done, or sometimes these questions are completely random, funny. If you guys have funny ones, please submit those. Like, funny questions are awesome. We love doing that. And on that note, these questions, they can be funny. They can be about a supplement. They can be about fitness, current events, whatever. Like, literally, it can be about anything. If it's something productive or, again, funny, like, we'll use it. We'll use it. So submit those questions to us. Again, they all get sent over to Money Mitch. Without further ado, Money Mitch.
Thanks for that intro. How many holes does a straw have?
Speaking of funny,
Yeah, you spoke that one into existence, didn't you?
How many holes?
say it again for us.
How many holes does a straw have?
Holes does a straw have?
You could argue one, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess I would say one.
It'd be like continuous, you know?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's a cylinder.
It's like a Pringles can.
Well, but a Pringles can has a bottom.
Oh,
Right.
So that truly
So that
only
could be
has
the
one.
argument for a straw having two.
I mean, two. Yeah. 100%.
But think about like a washer. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not a washing machine.
Like you play with
obviously.
like washers
yeah,
like the game. Yeah.
Well, there's no R after the W. It's an A.
Washer.
WARSHERS.
But
Man,
how many
I
holes
sure
does a
love-
washer have?
I sure love George Washington. Idiot.
I think he goes idiot.
Hey, Mitchell, you're calling your father an idiot too because Steve says the exact same thing.
I'll just cut it out.
Anyone that adds an R to Wash or Washington or whatever, like
I'll just cut it out. Don't
Little
worry.
Riri.
yeah. Maybe a little bit.
Which is true, because Steve and I are definitely a little retarded.
Bro.
A little retarded. It's okay.
All right, back to the question. 1 or 2?
I think you would argue a washer has one hole.
Yeah. No, that's
Just one hole.
No, that's a good argument.
You know what I mean? I think I'm locking in final answer 1.
What's your final answer?
Part of me is like partial. I really want to go to the 2 because like obviously if you like didn't have like 2 parts where like, because like you would on a Pringles can you have 1 hole.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you can't drink a smoothie out of Pringles can.
You're familiar with
You could.
with Pringles cans. You like eating Pringles, don't you?
He's found the bottom of several Pringles
No,
cans.
yeah.
Mitchell, you know what my top dog is.
yeah.
It's Ruffles.
Yeah.
Ruffles is my top dog.
Yeah.
Big time. I know how many holes the chip bag has.
Yeah.
One. That's for sure.
Well, after you get done with the chip bag, though, there might be 15 holes in there.
Good Lord.
The animal just came out and Gabel. Oh.
Oh. Whoa. Is that a bunga?
Oh my gosh. Oh, bunga. Oh, man.
No, that's the Neanderthal. That
Yeah.
we
Oh,
were
yeah,
showing.
there we go. Okay, thank
Right.
you. I was going
Right.
to pop that up on there.
What's your final answer,
Yeah,
Mitch?
true.
Are you a 1 or a 2 guy here?
I would say 1.
1?
It's a long cylinder.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your argument of the washer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same exact idea.
Yeah.
Just a little shorter.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
I'm the lock in 1 here.
No, I mean, I have to agree with the 1, though. I do. You know, because it's logically, it just makes sense.
Peer
Yeah.
pressure.
You know, no,
Yeah.
it's not peer pressure. It's just
We got
like,
him.
I wanted to go.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
wanted to go too, but it just doesn't make any
we
sense.
got him.
Yeah.
Because like if there was 2, it would have to be like from the side or something like that. And then,
Yeah. And then you got a faulty straw.
yeah, and then you got a shitty straw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trying to drink your soda or
Ass
something.
cheek
It's,
straw.
it's
got a
shooting out
got
the
a paper
side.
straw.
Yeah.
Like in California. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those things will end up with 23 holes in them.
Correct.
Yeah, those
Correct.
useless
Or
things.
it'll just become mush.
And somehow it's saving the turtles.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, hey, we saw a bunch of turtles on the golf course, so
was
clearly
cool.
it's working.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are some
We
big
need
turtles.
a golf question. We can just talk about golf for 15 minutes. Yeah.
It'd be good. Guys, tell us, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Does a straw have 1 or 2 holes?
Oh, and also, if you guys are interested in an untapped open, that was a great idea, actually. Like, we could actually, if we do have enough interest, we could contact a course and see if we can get it going.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
there's no reason.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
set aside a couple hours or something like that where we have our tee times lined up. I
Right.
don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Just an idea.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That would be that's something that'll happen.
Yeah.
For
oh,
sure.
no
That'd be
doubt
awesome.
about it. It's going to happen.
That'd
it just
be
depends
awesome.
when.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, you have a little bit of homework here. Okay. Number 1, I think there's 3 parts to your homework here if I'm thinking of one. Number 1, go get an untapped smoothie.
Yep. Easy.
I mean, literally.
Self-explanatory. Right?
If
Explain
you
that one.
still haven't, like in the half hour this episode's been going, you still haven't gone and gotten an untapped smoothie, what are we doing here?
Hypothetically, you should be at S2 listening to this right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Like it literally, I mean, it's a great point. Yeah. So go get an untapped smoothie. Number 2, how many holes does a straw have? 1 or 2. Number 3, continue sharing the show, guys. It's very simple. It's free to do. Put it on your Instagram stories, your Facebook stories. Post it to Twitter if you want. I mean, that works. No one really does that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you can
put it
do
on
it.
your stories.
You can do
Let's
it.
just go stories, okay? Put on your stories. If you are a YouTube viewer, take a screenshot, take a picture of your computer screen, whatever. Post that to your stories. Text it around to your friends and family. Guys, these things are all free. They require very little effort. So we ask that you please do those for us because it helps us grow the show tremendously, helps us get more eyes and ears on us, and it helps us continue to get great guests on the show as well. Until next time, peace and love.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.